It's so weird how every single game that comes out right now needs to have some kind of grand debate about it. Like, controversy needs to surround every game as gamers desperately try and find something to hate about every single title that comes out. And the latest argument leaving bodies in its wake has to be the dumbest I've seen so far, with people pretending to care about the absence of swimming mechanics in the new Mafia game. I'm starting to think maybe those 5G towers actually did do something to people's brains, because this shit is fried. A clip went viral on Twitter where they showed that Mafia the Old Country doesn't have swimming. But it turns out it's also incorrect, and there is a swimming animation in the game. It's just this game doesn't use swimming. It's not an open world game in the first place, by the way. Yet so many people were outraged and kept shaking their fist and planting their Dorito-crusted swamp ass all over this game's reputation, calling the developers lazy for not adding swimming. This is what's wrong with modern gaming. No swimming. They don't care about the detail. My immersion is ruined. Like, what are you, 6 years old? Your immersion? What, you need to see the character do a fucking breaststroke in order to clap in your chair and enjoy the game? Like, what the fuck? It is not an open world game. Some of the greatest games of all time don't have swimming in there. I didn't see anyone making a big hoopla when Elden Ring didn't have swimming mechanics and water levels. People just genuinely want every game to fail and will find the most outlandish things to pretend to be upset about in regards to them. I know that was devastating to look at. What you just bore witness to was gamers 9/11. No swimming in Mafia the Old Country. Instead, an invisible wall prevents you from frolicking in the sun and splashing around in the water. It's heartbreaking. It's horrifying, actually. I'm gonna have a conniption. Who gives a fuck? This is not an open world game. It is not a series that has ever been known for its swimming. In fact, in the entire Mafia franchise, there is one game that lets you swim in a limited capacity, and it's Mafia 3, the one everybody hates. Like, this is ridiculous to pretend that this matters to you. I don't understand. It's such a stupid thing to get up in arms about, especially because this game is doing exactly what a lot of people have been crying about wanting more of. It is a $50 game, by the way. It is not the overpriced $70 or $80 experiences now that we've been getting fucking shoveled down our throats. It is $50, meaning it is a reasonably priced AAA game, which is extremely refreshing. There's only a handful of these, like notably Expedition 33. And it is also a linear, single-player game with a huge focus on its narrative. Exactly things people have been demanding more of in the AAA space. Now this comes out and people still aren't pleased because they can't go into the deep water. They can't go live out their immersive fantasy of being a mob-associated mermaid. Like, this is stupid. Why bloat a game like this with mechanics that aren't even utilized like swimming? But here's the thing, what's even more fucking crazy. They did add swimming animations to it for the sake of immersion. It's just you can't go out into the sunset like that. You can jump into deep water and you will swim before being brought back to shore. I forgot to turn my face cam off while watching that so you can get the real-time Charles reaction to seeing this riveting piece of information surface about the swimming animation actually being present in Mafia the Old Country, contrary to the popular belief spread around Twitter. And as with everything, it is impossible for people to admit that they were wrong, so when this information hit the mainstream, people said, oh, it's even lazier than I thought. Oh, so there is swimming animations, but it just fades to black and you're back on the dock? Oh my god, this is deplorable. I will never buy another game from this company ever. The laziness is palpable. They're getting paid to do fucking nothing over there. When this is like literally the exact thing tons of other games that are beloved do. Try swimming in Arkham Knight or something. See what happens. It's exactly the same. It's just, people are so desperate to find the most trivial things to harp on for a reason to hate a new game. And this isn't even a game I have any interest in playing myself, by the way. I initially thought it'd be fun to play through, but then when I watched some other streamers play it, it didn't really seem like I'd be overly invested in it. But now, out of pure spite for this controversy, I feel like diving in. It's just so infuriating. Because, I mean, like I said, this game does a lot of things that people have been begging for in the space for a while. Reasonably priced, story-driven, single-player. Like, it is people have been hoping for more of those, and now it's here, and it's still not good enough because the swimming wasn't up to their standards. It's just craziness. I find it hard to believe that these are real people. I just have a hard time coming to terms with losers like this actually existing. It's such a meaningless argument to have. Because even if let's say this game did have swimming, there would equally be a chance that it would have been controversial to have swimming because people would say, you can swim in Mafia the Old Country, yet they never use it in the game. What a waste of development time. What a waste of budget. Why even hire people to work on swimming in a game that doesn't use it? Bloat. Like, it could have easily swung the other way, too, if they did have swimming. Like, I've seen that complaint plenty of times from games that offer a ton of mechanics, many of which don't even get utilized. People say it was a waste of time, a waste of resources and money. So, you can't really win. Like, the absence of swimming here is like the most useless shit ever, because in so many games, like I mentioned, you can't swim. It's not like this is exclusive to just this, and it's not exclusive to just modern games either. Go back 10 years, 20 years, whatever. Some of the best games ever made do not have swimming in them. Like, it is just an immutable fact. If a game doesn't require swimming, if it doesn't necessitate having swimming mechanics, why bother putting them in there? It doesn't even do anything for immersion anyway. The only place where you could have swimming and not really need a focus on it would be in like an open world game, which this is not. It is a story-driven, linear, single-player game. So why the fuck would you even bother wasting the time putting it there to begin with? It's just so brain dead. Now, I have been someone that's been pretty vocal about how modern games don't do a lot of the small stuff that older games used to. The best example of this is Left 4 Dead versus Back 4 Blood. Left 4 Dead spent a ton of time crafting really immersive gore elements that really breathed a lot of life into the game. It was extremely impressive and it looked amazing. Back 4 Blood, a much more recent game, like a decade after Left 4 Dead almost, didn't have anything near that level. And it's not just this example, like there are just so many modern games that don't do what a lot of the earlier games did when it comes to like destructible environments or like small things built in the game. Even just super simple stuff like having a plethora of animations that could possibly play depending on where you shoot an enemy or something. Nowadays, instead of spending all of that time and money on those like small elements, they'll focus more on like the big ticket stuff, the big picture things, as opposed to like these really small handcrafted details that used to be more prominent in earlier games. And that is an art that I miss. I wish there was more of it, but this is not an example of that. This is not like a modernized, lazy dev, cutting corners type situation. This is literally a game that doesn't use swimming, doesn't need swimming, not having swimming, yet they do still have an animation for it should you choose to jump into the water. So, like, they did actually care about the immersion and detail to at least put in a swimming animation that'll play briefly before getting out of the water. Like, I think they did everything correctly when it comes to that. Anyway, I'll stop yapping about it. This shit is cringe. It was a stupid argument. This should have never been controversial in the first place. It's dumb. That's really about it. So, yeah.